Thank you for joining me for a yoga and meditation class. We're going to do 20 minutes of gentle floor-based yoga followed by 20 minutes of relaxing, soothing meditation. This is a floor-based class. You will need a carpeted area or a yoga mat if you have one, but you don't need any fancy yoga props or prior yoga or meditation experience. We're going to start by sitting up nice and tall. You can roll your shoulders forward a few times, backward a few times. Make any other movements with your body that you'd like to. What I'm doing and what you're doing do not need to mirror each other. Throughout class, remember that you are your greatest teacher. And if at any point I am moving my body or suggesting a breath work or a meditation that does not feel right for you, you are welcome to do something else. You're welcome to take a break. You're welcome to just like breathe and take a nap. So, sometimes with yoga, we'll go out of our comfort zone or we'll try something new, and that's okay, but never going to a point of pain or a point where you feel like you're not being true to yourself. All right, once you've moved around a little bit, you can rock back and forth side to side. And then once again, just start to sit up really tall. Relax your shoulders and take a nice, easy breath in through your nose. Open your mouth and exhale through your mouth. We'll do 2 more cleansing breaths. Breathe in. As you exhale, just start to let the day and the week go. Breathing in through the nose. Anything you want to let go of, let it go through the exhale breath. Consider this time just to breathe and to relax and to move and to be in your body. Any items on your to-do list or any worries or cares from your week, just politely set those aside for now and give yourself permission just to enjoy your own company. We'll take another breath in through the nose. Anything you want to let go of, imagine you're exhaling it out. Breathe in and let it all go. Seal your lips and we'll start to breathe in and out through the nose. And on your next inhale, sweep your arms up and overhead, big stretch up. Hands together, good. Exhale, pull your hands through heart center like you're saying a little prayer. Let's do that again. Inhale, arms up, big stretch up. Slow exhale, hands down. Great, and then have your hands at heart center, press palms together. Imagine if there's a piece of paper between your palms, it would not fall. Engage your biceps. Great, interlace your fingers, push your palms out for a nice knuckle stretch. We have 28 knuckles and we want to stretch all of them. Drop your shoulders, lift your chin and chest, take a breath here. Beautiful, and then set your arms down by your side. Great, so hands outside of the hips. Keep your right hand on the floor outside of your right hip. Keep in mind I'm not mirroring you. Take an inhale, reach your left arm up and overhead. Lengthen the left arm, drop the left shoulder down. Try to keep your left sit bone on the floor. On your next exhale, come back to center and place your left hand down. Great, let's do the other side. Inhale, reach your right arm up, lengthen the arm, drop the shoulder. Notice if you're tipping to one side, push your left hand into the floor a little bit. And on your next exhale, come back to center, right arm down. Good. Inhale, reach your left arm up. Exhale, come back to center, left arm down. Inhale, right arm up. Exhale, come back to center, right arm down. Good. Keep your left knee bent, kick your right leg out. You can point your toes, flex your toes, draw circles clockwise and counterclockwise. And then actively flex your right toes back towards your face. Take your right hand outside of right hip and reach your left arm long overhead. You can keep your hand on the floor. You can also bend your right elbow and bring your forearm onto your thigh. You can keep your left arm long, or you can bend your left elbow and pat yourself on the back for practicing yoga today. Great, leaning to the right so you can stretch the left side body. Good, straighten your left arm. If your right elbow is bent, put your right hand on the floor, push up. And then take your left arm down to the floor. Other side, kick your left leg out, right leg in. You can point your toes, flex your toes, draw circles clockwise, counterclockwise, working out the ankle joints. Then flex your left toes back, stretching the Achilles. You can keep your left hand outside of left thigh, reach your right arm long overhead. Rather than bringing your chest towards the floor, roll your right rib cage back so the shoulders stack. Good. Option to stay here or bend your left elbow, forearm to knee. Option to stay here or bend your right elbow and pat yourself on the back for something else you're proud of this week. Take a moment for affirmation. Great. If your right elbow is bent, straighten your right arm. Left elbow is bent, put left hand on floor. Push your hand into the floor, come up and float your right arm down. Keep your left leg kicked out, kick your right leg. Again, you can point your toes, flex your toes, maybe windshield wiper your ankles, flex your toes back, stick your butt out a little bit. You can walk your hips back, take an inhale, sweep your arms up. Exhale through your nose, fold forward. You can have your hands on the floor just in front of you, or depending on mobility, you might walk your hands forward a little bit, never forcing the body. We're just getting a gentle stretch to the inner thighs. Shoulders back, chin forward. Good. Walk your hands back in. With or without the use of your hands, you can put your hands on your outer thighs or just use your core and hip flexor strength. Bring your feet together. Again, you can point your toes, flex your toes, move your feet like little windshield wipers, which I think a lot of people in DC are using today. And then flex your toes back, walk your butt back a little bit. Take an inhale, sweep your arms up. Exhale, fold. Again, depending on your body proportions, you can have your hands outside of your hips, your knees, your calves. If you happen to have a long torso like I do, you might even be able to like touch your fingertips to your toes. Take an inhale, exhale, and then lift yourself up, come back to center. Look at your legs, identify which leg is left, which leg is right. Don't mix them up. Keep your left leg straight, cross your right ankle over your left knee. Option to stay here with your bottom leg straight, or you can bend your bottom leg. And depending on hip mobility, that might kind of look like this, right? And that's okay. Try to roll the right hip down. From here, take your left arm up, rotate shoulder, palm faces back, bend your left elbow, pat yourself on the back. Take your right arm out to the right, rotate shoulder, palm faces back, and now reach behind you, scratch your own back. And eventually, I'll show you from the side, eventually you might even slide your fingertips together to meet. From here, you can stay upright or take an inhale, stretch up, exhale, fold forward. And now you get this nice stretch to your outer right hip, right thigh. Try to keep your back flat, chin away from your chest. Breathe into right hip. Good, lift yourself up. We're gonna reverse out. So if you have your hands clasped together, undo that clasp, take your right arm out to the right, rotate shoulder, palm faces forward, set your right hand down on the floor. Reach your left arm up, rotate shoulder, palm faces forward, left hand down to the floor. If bottom leg is bent, straighten bottom leg, uncross top leg. We're also again working on our hips and our core here. Other side, cross your left knee over right knee. Option to keep your bottom leg straight or bend your bottom leg as well. Reach your right arm up, rotate shoulder, palm faces back, bend elbow, left arm out to the left, rotate shoulder, palm faces back, reach behind you. Drop your right shoulder down, bring your left shoulder forward, perfect. Take an inhale, stretch up, and an exhale, fold. This is called cow face pose, and your elbow makes like a cow's ear. It's kind of like a silly, happy cow with one ear kind of flapping in the wind. Okay, as you're ready, come back to center. We're gonna reverse out, undo any clasp you have on your hands. Bring your left arm out to the left, rotate shoulder, palm faces forward, left arm down. Lift your right arm up, rotate shoulder, palm faces forward, set your right hand down. If bottom leg is bent, straighten bottom leg, and then uncross top leg. From here, you're gonna bend your knees with your feet on the floor. I'll show you from the side. Have your hands behind you. Depending on the wrist stretch that you'd like, you can have your fingers pointing towards you, fingers pointing away from each other, or fingers pointing away from you. It's up to you. From here, you're gonna, again, windshield wiper your knees now, moving your knees. Wonderful. And then bring your knees back to center, walk your hands in. So sitting up tall, start to let your knees open out to the side, soles of the feet come together. If you'd like, you can place your hands on your feet and actually give yourself a little massage here, massaging out the feet. This is our butterfly pose. As the hips start to open up, the knees might start to come down. You can even experiment with almost like flapping your butterfly wings here. Great. And just let your knees drop, spine lengthens, shoulders back and down. Take a breath. Come into a spine straight position. You can take your hands outside of your knees or use your core and hip flexors to bring your knees, feet together. And then we're going to come onto our hands and knees for a tabletop pose. Now, if you have tight ankles, knees, or toes, you might roll up your yoga mat, or if you don't have a yoga mat, place a little blanket or pillow underneath any delicate lower body joints. From here, you want your knees about hip width distance, feet about hip width distance, knees under hips, and then wrists under your shoulders, hands about shoulder width distance. We're making a tabletop with our spine. Spread your fingers wide, root down through all 28 knuckles and the space between your index finger and thumb. Take an inhale through your nose. And on your exhale, we'll go into cat pose. Round your spine like a cat, meow. Drop your head down, press your hips forward, round your spine up towards the ceiling. On your next inhale, cow pose, moo. You're going to drop your abdomen down, stick your butt up, roll your shoulders back and down, look up and back. Let's do that again. Exhale into your cat pose. Spread your shoulder blades, scapula apart. Draw your navel all the way up to the ceiling, hips to ribs, ribs to hips, chin to chest. Inhale, cow pose, chin away from your chest. Send your gaze up. Squeeze shoulder blades, scapula together. Lift your tailbone up towards the ceiling. Let your abdomen hang heavy. Last round, exhale, cat pose. Keep pressing down through your knuckles so that you're not putting all of your body weight on your wrists. Inhale, cow pose. Keep the shoulders out of the ears as you back bend. Exhale, neutral spine position. Keep your core engaged. On your next inhale breath, reach your right arm up, look up towards the ceiling for a little spine twist. And then exhale, place your right hand back down on the floor. Let's do the other side. Inhale, reach your left arm up, shoulder opener, look up. Exhale, left hand down on the floor. Inhale, right arm up. This time we're going to thread the needle. Exhale, take your right arm under your left arm, right shoulder to floor, right ear to floor. You can keep your hand on the floor close to your face. You can also reach your left arm up towards the ceiling and start to drape it behind you. Reach for your right thigh with your left hand. Breathe. If your right hand, or if your left hand is straight behind you, reach your left arm up towards the ceiling. Place your left hand back on the floor under your shoulder. Push down through your knuckles and palms. We're going to unthread the needle. Inhale, slide your right arm out and then reach up towards the ceiling, look up. Exhale, right hand down. Let's do the other side. Inhale, left arm up. Thread the needle. Exhale, left arm underneath you, left ear to floor, left shoulder to floor. Try to keep your hips over your knees. Option to keep your right hand on the floor or reach up. Drape behind you, reach for your left thigh with your right hand. Breathe. If your right arm is straight behind you, reach your right arm up. Place your right hand on the floor, push down. Inhale, unthread the needle, reach your left arm up, look up. Exhale, left hand down. Good. Spread your fingers wide, root down through your knuckles. Keep your left knee bent. Start to straighten your right leg. You can flex your toes back so the big toe touches the floor. Option to stay here or start to lift your right foot off the floor. Drop your right hip down so your hips are in line. Keep core tight, neck long. Option to stay here or reach your left arm forward, thumb towards the ceiling. Take a breath. Good. Set your left hand back down on the floor. Bend your right knee, right foot to the floor. Other side, straighten your left leg. Flex your left toes back. Try to square off your hips, so left hip down. Option to keep your big toe on the floor or lift your left foot off the floor, heel in line with your hip. And then from here, if you'd like, reach your right arm forward, pinky towards the floor. Think about lengthening through your back. Beautiful. Right hand to the floor, left knee to the floor. Bring your big toes together. Open your knees, knees come apart. Start to sink your hips back. Reach your arms forward for a child's pose. We'll take 3 slow breaths here. As you inhale, feel the backs of your ribs expand. As you exhale, feel your ribs contract. Inhale, think about lengthening from the lower back, middle back, upper back, all the way through the neck spine to the crown of the head. Exhale, sink your hips back, opening the hips. Inhale. And exhale. Gently lift your head, walk your hands in towards your body and press yourself up. And if you'd like, you can take a counter stretch, put your hands behind you. Oop, I got out of focus there a little bit. Do a little back bend, looking up and back. Good, and then straighten your spine. If you have your mat rolled up, you're gonna unroll your mat. And then we're gonna turn and make our way onto our backs for the last part of class. Lying on your back, bend your knees so that your feet are on the floor about hip width distance, ankles under knees. Rotate your shoulders so that your palms face down. Lift your hips slightly and slide your hands underneath you so that maybe your thumbs touch. Press down through your shoulders, your palms, and your knuckles. Keep your head on the floor, tuck your chin in slightly to your chest so your neck starts to come down towards the floor. Press your heels down, squeeze your glutes, and lift your hips up towards the ceiling for bridge pose. Rather than flaring your ribs apart, try to knit your ribs together, send your hips up, push your shoulders down, keep your chin to your chest, head on the floor. Hold for 3, 2, 1. Slowly lower your hips down. Keep your left foot on the floor. Lift your right foot off the floor. Cross your right ankle over your left thigh for supine figure 4. Option to keep your left foot on the floor or lift it off the floor, hugging your thighs in towards your abdomen. You can keep your hands on the floor. You can grab the backs of your legs, or you can take your right arm in between your legs, left arm outside of left thigh, and interlace your 10 fingers behind your left thigh, pull down. Head on the floor. Relax your 2 shoulders and 2 hips down. Great. Release any grip you have from the backs of your legs. Return your left foot to the floor, right foot to the floor. We'll do another bridge pose. Bring your hands underneath you, shoulders and palms down. Press down through your heels, squeeze your glutes, and lift your hips up. Maybe a little bit higher this time. So think about lifting your hips up towards the ceiling. Press your heels down, shoulders down, chin to chest. Good, and slowly lower down. Keep your right foot on the floor. Lift your left foot off the floor. Cross your left ankle over right thigh. So your legs make a 4 shape. That's why it's called figure 4, not very creative. Option to keep your right foot on the floor or lift your right foot off the floor. Hug your thighs in towards your abdomen. And again, you can keep your hands on the floor. You can grab the outsides of your legs, or you can interlace your fingers behind your right thigh. In this posture, we're stretching out the lower back, the hip, and the side seat. This is a really great posture for sciatic nerve pain because we're stretching out that nerve that goes from the lower back all the way through the outer thigh down to the foot. It's the longest nerve in the body, and the sciatic nerve is like as thick as our thumb. It's a really thick nerve. It wants to be stretched out. This posture does a great job of stretching out the nerve. Release any grip that you have from the back of your legs. Return your right foot to the floor. Left foot to the floor. Once again, palms face down, lift your hips, place your hands underneath you, bridge pose, push your palms down, lift your hips up. And this time, if you'd like, you can interlace your fingers underneath your body. Squeeze your glutes, lift your hips a little higher, hold for 3, hips up, 2, chin in, 1. If your fingers are interlaced, uninterlace the fingers, palms to floor, and then lower your hips back down. Happy baby. Lift your feet off the floor, keep your knees bent. Again, option to have your hands on the floor. You can grab the backs of your hamstrings or knees, or if you'd like, you can grab your ankles or the outsides of your feet with your hands. And from here, rock right and left. We're using the floor as a prop here to roll out our back. As you roll to the left, you might try straightening your left leg and then come back to center. As you roll to the right, straighten your right leg, come back to center. Can rock and roll it out. Great, and once you're kind of even on both sides, come back to center, flex your toes back, draw your knees down towards the floor, soften through your shoulders, relax through your abdomen and pelvic floor, feel the hips opening. Release any grip that you have on your feet or the backs of your legs. Bring your knees and feet together. You can bring your heels in towards your butt. Take your arms out to the side. You can have your arms perpendicular to your body in a big expansive gesture. You can also bend your elbows, cactusing them like goalposts. And from here, you're going to roll to the left so that your right hip stacks on top of left hip. Roll your right shoulder down to the floor. You can keep the back of your head on the floor or look over your right shoulder, looking away from your knees for a full spine twist. It's a great way to reset your spine at the end of your practice. Also good for digestion. It's a nice chest opener as well. Think about stretching out the heart space. If you're looking over your right shoulder, bring the back of your head to the floor, and then you're going to roll your right hip down, roll to the other side, left hip stacks on top of right hip, left shoulder down. Option to keep the back of your head on the floor or look over your left shoulder. Soften through your hands, knees, feet. Think about relaxing the shoulders onto the floor as you twist. If you're looking over your left shoulder, bring the back of your head to the floor, roll your left hip down. We're going to lift your head off the floor. Give yourself a big hug for practicing yoga. You can grab your elbows, tuck your chin in, bring your forehead towards your knees, take a breath, squeeze every muscle in your body. You can even make a funny face, inhale. When you're ready, open your mouth, exhale, release that hug, arms and legs down, Savasana. There we go. You can close your eyes, open your arms and legs as much or as little as you'd like. Take a nice, easy breath in through your nose. Again, anything you want to let go of, just let it go through the exhale breath. I describe this as a yoga and meditation class, but meditation is also a limb of yoga, just like breath work, the pranayamas, and the postures, the asanas. So this is really just like a yoga class that involves different, parts of a full, well-rounded yoga class. For this specific meditation, you are welcome to continue to lie down in Savasana, or if you prefer to meditate sitting up, you're welcome to slowly and mindfully roll off to one side and press yourself up. There is no such thing as a good meditator or a bad meditator. There are simply people who meditate and people who do not. So for the sake of today, you are meditating. Good for you. Once you've found a comfortable position, whether that's seated or lying, you are welcome to close your eyes. You can also do a soft fuzzy gaze beyond the tip of your nose, or you can focus on a spot in front of you or above you that helps you feel anchored in your breath and in your body. As you inhale, feel your body rise. As you exhale, feel your body fall. I'm now going to light a candle as a symbolic gesture that we are entering into a more intentional space. Being intentional with our breath, intentional with our body movements, intentional with our thoughts. For many of us, we spend our day running from activity to activity, work to home to friends. And we also spend our day with our minds wandering, right? From activity to activity, from person to person, place to place, idea to idea. And there's so much running around that sometimes we don't get an opportunity to just be still and breathe. And sometimes when we finally do just sit and breathe, it can actually be kind of jarring because we've been running around. So if at any point in your meditation, you start to feel like a little unnerved, you are again welcome. If your eyes are closed, you can open your eyes and pick something, on the ceiling or on the floor to anchor you. You can return to your breath. And of course, the same way that you can always skip a yoga posture or breath work, you can also skip a particular part of the meditation if it's not speaking to you or is not right for you. So everything we do here is optional. We'll take 1 minute just to be still and breathe. And as we're still and breathe, you might observe what starts to come up for you without judgment or expectation. Our thoughts are like clouds. Sometimes they're white and fluffy. Sometimes they're gray and stormy, like they are here today. Sometimes they pass quickly. Sometimes they linger all day. Sometimes we even try to make shape or meaning out of them. In meditation, we start to realize that we are not the clouds, we are the sky. So then, even a minute of stillness, you might observe it within yourself: boredom, anxiety that you're not doing it right. You might observe deep calm, maybe an epiphany or realization. Often the very mundane and the very profound live next to each other in a yoga practice. And it's our job to stay aware, but not judgmental as things come up. So if, for example, that you notice that you're feeling bored in a meditation, you're not going to assign judgment like bad to that feeling. You're just going to observe that. Or if maybe a memory comes up or you have kind of a realization, you're also not going to assign, like a good or bad judgment to it. You're just going to observe it like clouds passing in the sky. We'll take another minute just to breathe and be still. Imagine a warm sun shining down on you. Soften through the top of your head. Relax your forehead and eyes. Relax your face. Relax your jaw. Relax your jaw. Relax your jaw. Soften through your chest and abdomen. Let your shoulders relax. Relax through your arms, upper arms and lower arms, palms and fingers. Imagine your fingers just unfurling and relaxing a little bit more. Relax through your neck, spine, upper back, middle back, all the way to the lower back. Soften through your hips and seat. Relax your outer thighs and inner thighs. shins and calves, soles of the feet, tops of your feet. Relax your toes. Relax through your hands and your feet. And take a breath. Sure, this warm light shining on you, warming your body from the inside out as you breathe through your nose. There's all different types of meditation. And today I am going to share Lectio Divina, which translates to mean divine listening or divine reading. I'm going to read a poem 3 times. And the first time, just let it wash over you like a warm sun. The second time, you might tune in a little bit. And after the third reading, I'll invite you to pick a word or phrase that's speaking to you, and we'll take some time just to sit with that word or phrase or sentence. This is The Summer Day by Mary Oliver. Who made the world? Who made the swan and the black bear? Who made the grasshopper? This grasshopper, I mean. The one who has flung herself out of the grass. The one who is eating sugar out of my hand. Who is moving her jaws back and forth instead of up and down. Who is gazing around with her enormous and complicated eyes. Now she lifts her pale forearms and thoroughly washes her face. Now she snaps her wings open and floats away. I don't know exactly what a prayer is. I do know how to pay attention, how to fall down into the grass, how to kneel down in the grass, how to be idle and blessed, how to stroll through the fields, which is what I have been doing all day. Tell me, what else should I have done? Doesn't everything die at last and too soon? Tell me, what is it you plan to do with your one wild and precious life? Who made the world? Who made the swan and the black bear? Who made the grasshopper? This grasshopper, I mean. The one who has flung herself out of the grass, the one who is eating sugar out of my hand, who is moving her jaws back and forth instead of up and down, who is gazing around with her enormous and complicated eyes. Now she lifts her pale forearms and thoroughly washes her face. Now she snaps her wings open and floats away. I don't know exactly what a prayer is. I do know how to pay attention, how to fall down into the grass, how to kneel down in the grass, how to be idle and blessed, how to stroll through the fields, which is what I've been doing all day. Tell me, what else should I have done? Doesn't everything die at last and too soon? Tell me, what is it you plan to do with your one wild and precious life? I'll read this poem one more time. You can pick a word or a phrase or sentence that speaks to you, and then we'll take a few minutes to meditate on it. Who made the world? Who made the swan and the black bear? Who made the grasshopper? This grasshopper, I mean. The one who has flung herself out of the grass, the one who is eating sugar out of my hand, who is moving her jaws back and forth instead of up and down, who is gazing around with her enormous and complicated eyes. Now she lifts her pale forearms and thoroughly washes her face. Now she snaps her wings open and floats away. I don't know exactly what a prayer is. I do know how to pay attention, how to fall down into the grass, how to kneel down in the grass, how to be idle and blessed, how to stroll through the fields, which is what I have been doing all day. Tell me, what else should I have done? Doesn't everything die at last and too soon? Tell me, what is it you plan to do with your one wild and precious life? We'll take 3 minutes just to meditate. You can inhale through your nose, feel your body rise. Exhale, body fall. At the end of that poem, what is it that you plan to do with your one wild and precious life is a fairly famous um, ending to a poem that you've perhaps heard of before. And as someone pointed out recently, when Mary Oliver asks that question, the answer within the poem is to simply be in a field of grass and walk and get on your knees and be idle and blessed. And so her answer to what is it that you should be doing with your one wild and precious life isn't run around and make the most amount of friends and the most amount of money and do X, Y, and Z every day, get up, work, lather, rinse, repeat. Her answer is to be idle and to be in nature and to observe, like truly observe the grasshoppers and the black bears and the swans. As you go into your weekend, remember that this is always an option, not just for your life as a whole, but just for your day or for taking a moment every day, just to be still and breathe, idle and blessed. You can inhale, body rise. Anything you want to let go of, let it go through the exhale breath. You are welcome to stay in this meditative space for as long as you'd like. You can even take a nap if that feels good to you. Otherwise, I'll count us down from 3, at which point you can make any motions with your body that tells your body you're changing gears. Inhale and let it go for 3, 2, 1. I'm now going to blow out this candle as a symbolic gesture that our meditation space is ending. And I'm letting the very real smoke clear the air as a reminder that when we take time to sit and be still and contemplate, we very much change our relationship with the space around us. Have a wonderful rest of your evening, and I hope to practice with you soon. Bye, friends.